Good afternoon, everybody. Are you having a good time? Cool. So my name is Ola de Freitas, and I am the CEO and a co-founder of Go Technologies. Founded the company in 2012 together with my two co-founders, Richard Hurlitz and Marcus Kruger. And the company has now grown into a team of 30 people. We're based in Stockholm, and then we have a small team in San Francisco. At Go, we're developing a product called Go Create, and it's a creation platform for high-end graphics in the browser. It's all HTML5 and WebGL for those of you who are tech-savvy, and it runs on any device without no plugins. And you can think of it as a next-generation Flash. So I'm not going to try to tell you what you can do with this tech. I'm going to show you instead, because it's much more interesting. So what I'm going to show is behind the scenes that we did for a project with Nike and Google for the World Cup this summer.
So at the start of this project, we really set out to push what's possible creatively in a browser, both in mobile but also on desktop.
The paradigm shift for us here was not just starting with the smallest screen and building the resizes up to that, but was saying, if this is a mobile experience first, what do you get out of a mobile experience that you won't get anywhere else?
We're using technology that has only been done a few times before.
So just in the past year, have you really been able to even get WebGL on a phone?
What we're seeing is that we're getting so much closer to the types of performance, the types of rendering, the types of experiences that you typically get in an app. It's just as simple as clicking on that ad and being right in that experience.
We're really drawn to the immersiveness that you feel, like of holding your phone in your hand and feeling like you're in a world.
So we created a prototype where you could use your gyroscope on your phone and look around.
Everyone kind of understood the experience, even end to end, just within a week, and then everyone could kind of go off to the races and start building the thing.
The paradigm in the past has always been a designer gives you a flat image, and you can get animation, you can get effects using layers and things like that. But with WebGL and 3D, there's always a pipeline issue. You're talking to a 3D team that has a very complex 3D model, and you need to extract that 3D model into this WebGL experience. But there's not just like an export to web feature.
So we made sure to get a vendor, Goo in this case. So Goo has helped take the really high quality models and bring them down to something that could perform in WebGL, and at the same time get it into a website.
Okay, so what's really interesting about this? The reason why Google and Nike are doing this branding campaign is because people don't watch TV, they don't read newspapers the same way they used to do. So now you want to reach your audience with a brand experience on mobile devices. And it becomes really important how much time the consumer spends with the experience. So in this case, they actually spend 1 minute and 38 seconds on average with the experience. That can be compared to movies where people normally just shut them down after 4 seconds. So if you're interested in this, have a look at riskeverything.nike.com. So what we're doing at Google, or at Go right now, and what's next for Go, is bringing this type of experience to mobile marketing with our platform, working with big brands, and earning our customers through these type of really cool showcases. And by doing that, we're growing our community on the platform. And our goal is to succeed, flash, and become the platform for experiences in mobile advertising. Thank you.
Thank you. Very impressive. Any questions from the panel? Shall I start? I can start. So there's obviously some competition out there. What makes you different, or why hasn't anyone else thought about this?
Good question. So the thing is, we actually come from the gaming industry. So we developed our tech for games, AAA titles and stuff like that. And in that space, yes, there is competition. We're the tech leaders. It's a paradigm shift where people are switching over from native to web, and there you have HTML5 and WebGL. But the thing is, in the advertising space, at this moment, we are all alone. There's no one else doing this at this very moment. which is the reason why Google is using us and introducing us to all the creative agencies and so forth.
Steve?
Yes.
Yep. Coming out of the advertising industry, but what does the financial model look like? Who is paying, and how do you make money, and how do Google make money, etc.?
Yeah, so the way we make money is from subscription-based fees from the creative agencies. But and then, since this is a cloud-based service, we have all the content in our cloud, which means that it makes sense that we also serve it out to the end consumer, and thus can charge CPM for it.
It is obvious that there is a lot of opportunity with your business model. What do you see as your biggest threat as of today?
So with anything like this, it's a question about, for the big players, do you want to use something else that someone else built, or do you want to buy it? I mean, if Google put 100 people on this, they could build something like this in a year, maybe. So I think it's a question of teaming up with partners and take the market really fast.
Typically, what kind of partners?
So typically, the kind of partners would be the big publishers like Time and Daily Mail and New York Times and Schibsted in Scandinavia, because what they have is they have big sales organizations. So what we do for them is we give them a platform that makes it possible for them to create a lot of different advertising concepts and to have them served, and then they sell them through their sales forces.
How are you building your team? So who's on your team?
So the team right now is 20 developers. We've spent a lot of time developing this platform. I mean, building a Flash is not done overnight. And then we have a small creative team as well to do showcases and help the creative agencies that are working with Google and Nike and so forth, with the brands and the publishers. To get going on our platform, and then some salespeople.
Who owns the company today?
So the company is owned by the 3 founders, and then we have an investor in More, which is Kai Hed's investment company based out of Stockholm, Sweden.
One of the things that I notice with my own behavior on ads is that when they came up first, I thought they were kind of fun. And then I didn't even notice them. So they started to, and I don't think anybody else did either, so they started to blink and move a little bit, so it was harder to ignore them. But after a while, I could ignore them too, right? And I can imagine that this thing is really fun the first time one sees it, and probably 6 months in, not so much fun anymore. How are you going to not get the tired effect?
Good question. I think it's about the experience, the same thing that you experience when you play a game, for instance. It's like I said with this Google Nike campaign, people actually spent 1 minute and 38 seconds.
That was the first one.
No, but I mean, people play games over and over again, right? They don't stop playing games because they played one game. I think it's about the possibility to interact and potentially, put your own kind of messages into the brand experience you're having. So putting text, taking photos, putting that into maybe movie, video clips and stuff like that. I think it's about giving the consumer the possibility to interact, basically. So that it doesn't become a sales experience, rather, interactive experience with the brand.
What big brands do you foresee as your main targets? I mean, we've seen Nike, and soccer is obviously a...
So Nike is one. Now Coca-Cola, M&M, big American corporations. That's why we want to be here. And working with Google, they open up all those doors, obviously.
So your main strength, is it the tech, or is it the user experience? I mean, the experience from the gaming industry. What do you consider to be your strength?
I think our main strength is that we have built this tech platform that makes it really fast to produce these type of experiences and easy.
Couldn't a lot of big companies do that?
Well, they could, but it's going to take time. As I said, we spent a lot of resources and a lot of time to build this platform. And it goes without saying, building a Flash or something like that takes a lot of time and a lot of money.
There's another question about scalability and bugs. Flash has had some pretty impressive bugs.
Yeah.
You guys are small still. What happens? How are you
I
going
mean,
to
in terms of bugs on the platform?
Well, what happened to the Flash? You have an opportunity to replace Flash.
Yeah, but
when Flash has the next really big security breach.
Okay, so that's
and you have about 2 weeks before you yourself, in that case, have a security breach. What's your?
Well, so the thing is, it's a different case here because Flash was proprietary, right? This is actually backed. HTML5 is backed by Google. All of them, all the big chipsets manufacturers are backing it. All the big, browser manufacturers. We're just riding on the HTML5 wave here.
Okay, good.
Why would it take 1 year for Google to copy this?
Because
you are just 3 people that did this.
No, we're not 3 people. We're 30.
Yeah, I know, but you all worked as a team to develop this then.
Yeah. So I think, the people we have on our tech team, they're world class. They've built, gaming engines several times before. It's just, of course you can gather that kind of team, but there's people from all over the world that have worked on this platform. So it's not just done like that.
How did you first come up with the idea? You woke up one morning and...
No. Actually, our company started when we did some early demos. So me and my partners, have been developing gaming engines for many years. And we actually have our tech in NASA's Curiosity rover expedition to Mars, which is pretty cool. So we took that tech and moved it over to JavaScript in HTML5 and showed that to some people in the startup landscape we were hanging out in, and they were like, wow, can you do that stuff in a browser? And that's when we started to realize that we had something really cool and started to build a company, just based off of having a great tech and seeing how people reacted to it.
Any other questions? Good, thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. Good job now, very well.